The research teams in the Kyana system require your assistance. They have been running thousands of temporal incursion simulations of how to use the Iconain weapon. But I need an officer with field experience to evaluate the project and its feasibility. You will participate in a focus test of the most promising options. A blade cuts both ways. We must be sure that what this weapon can do to the Iconians does not cause greater harm to us.
Indeed. Now, as we are it's number one, we're visiting the Kyana system. As usual, we pick up the experience points and expertise. We also pick up some more training manuals. The tactical focused assault. I've not actually used these myself, so I can't tell you much about them other than they do exist. And some delivery more. And we also get the temporal manipulation set in this. So we get the temporal disentanglement suite, which fits in the science console slot. The overcharged warp core, or the overdrive singularity core, depending on your ship. And then there's also the anti-quantum infused beam away, or the anti-quantum infused turret. Again, those two, the turret and the beam away, do lock each other out. And a quantum torpedo. So let's get going and head to Kyana. Here we are inside the Iconain research facility, and in front of us is a familiar face.
Welcome! We have been working with the Iconain to build both this facility and a weapon similar to the one developed by Anorax in the 22nd century. Captain Nog is running point for the Alliance, but teams from all across the Alpha and Beta quadrants are involved with the research. It's fascinating work, but there's a lot to do yet.
How can I help?
Captain Nog might be able to explain more. He's waiting for you.
Now, if you aren't aware, Adriana is a somewhat familiar character. She appeared quite a few seasons ago when we were investigating our Iconain gateway. So good to see you again, Adriana. How have you been?
It's good to see you too. For a few weeks, I was helping the Alliance research new ways to deactivate Iconian gateways. We were making progress, but it wasn't fast enough to stop the advance of the Heralds. After Captain Nog made contact with the Iconain, I asked to transfer here. Now I'm working with interdimensional resonance harmonics to help recreate Anorax's work.
Having better sleep?
Yes I have. I guess the Solanae aren't visiting me at night anymore. Or maybe it's the 14-hour days trying to wrap my brain around complex temporal equations that are wearing me out. Either way, my sleep is greatly improved. Thank you for asking.
And I just hope this isn't bigger. It's a bigger mistake than opening a gateway on New Wellness.
Welcome. We have been. Captain Nog might be able.
Yeah. Yes. If you can understand. She. As I said, she did take some. She was appeared in a previous episode, and here we are in the research facility in the other area. Now, let's have a chat with Captain Nog.
I wish I was seeing you under better circumstances. We've managed to make a prototype of the Iconain weapon in Anorax's records, but we have not attempted to use it yet. Time isn't something you mess around with, so we have been conducting simulations here of possible incursions, as well as developing new ways to protect and store data on various timelines.
Now, Now you can ask Doug quite a few questions, and we'll be doing that now. But if you just ask him any ideas when to make the temporary incursion, will trigger movers along in the story. So, can you explain this process to me? How is this different from going back in time, changing something, and creating an alternate timeline?
When we talk about time alteration, we're specifically referring to the Krenim weapon's ability to remove something from time. Anything, from a single molecule to an entire civilization. It's as if the target of the weapon never existed at all.
So it doesn't just move something, it deletes it.
Correct. The changes ripple out from the incursion point and result in a new reality where the target no longer exists. This does mean that the ship must be able to fire on a target. The details are a bit more complex, of course, but that's the main difference from conventional time travel.
And no one has a problem with this?
Temporal agents from all three factions are watching everything we do carefully. That's one of the reasons we're running holodeck simulations first. Between you and me, I'm glad they're here. The Krenim are a little too eager to use the weapon. Time manipulation is a very delicate operation under the best of circumstances. We can't just start shooting things out of existence and hoping it all works out for the best.
I agree, Captain.
That was the first simulation we tried. The results were fairly catastrophic.
So I should have said that we were asking the question about why don't deleting the icons at the time in that stream, and the results were catastrophic. Catastrophic?
Without the Iconians, the first development of warp technology by other cultures in the Alpha Quadrant is severely delayed, by about 50,000 years. Removing the Iconians would change everything we know.
We would develop warp travel, right? That seems inevitable.
Let me put it this way. In one version, the Day Ones eventually rise to power and conquer most of the Beta Quadrant. They are forced back by the Vulcans, who never embrace logic, and later enslave much of what is now Federation and Klingon space.
I see how this can be a problem.
I'm not done yet. The Herc never developed warp technology at all, so they never invade Kronos and unite the Klingons as a warrior culture. When the Vulcan Star Empire finds the Klingons in the 22nd century, they were mostly farmers who had made some advances in epic poetry. By the present day in this simulation, the Vulcan Star Empire is locked in a to-the-death struggle with the Dominion.
I get it. Moving the icons directly is a bad idea. Sela said something about the icons and time travel. Is that important?
Oh, that the Iconians can't time travel because it unravels their minds. She was being dramatic, but she was essentially correct. When most humanoids time travel, they retain the memories of their timeline of origin. So you realize when things have changed. Iconians are at least partially energy beings. You saw that when Matara was able to use her own power to open gateways. And their brain structure is very different from other humanoids. As far as we understand, if an Iconian traveled back in time, their mind and memories would reshape to fit that time. So they would retain no memories of the present. They don't use time travel because it would literally be taking a step backwards.
I understand now, thank you. Now, Sela did mention this back at the beginning of the Iconain War. Okay, protect what we know.
Once we make an incursion, anything not protected by a temporal shield will conform to the new timeline. That includes all of us once this mission is over. We won't remember the Iconians, the war, or anything that changes in the new timeline. Clouda has been leading the work to create a shielded computer core to hold all the data we currently have. A time capsule, I guess you'd call it.
This core is needed to be shielded forever?
Correct. This isn't the sort of sacrifice we'd expect any personnel involved in the incursion to make. So we've built a computer to retain the information for us. We'll know what happened before, even though it essentially will have happened to someone else.
Understood.
I wish I was seeing you under better circumstances. We've managed to make.
Do you have any ideas to make a temporary incursion?
We've tried a different number of scenarios, but only in the holodeck. Direct action against the Iconians is proving to be problematic, because so much time has passed since they were first a great power. Incursions that far back in time must be carefully planned, or the fallout of even minor changes can ripple across reality. We have, however, seen some promise in trying to delay their arrival.
But that's just inevitable for a few years.
Actually, it would be closer to a 700-year delay if our calculations are correct. The Iconians have had 200,000 years to build their fleets, but we're catching up to them. We've already seen what the 29th century technology can do. Imagine what we'll have in the 32nd century.
So be more on a equal footing.
Exactly. The other potential solution is to cut into the current power base. What if the Iconians never allied with the Alachi or the Solanae? We wouldn't be facing the trouble we do now.
What are your best scenarios?
The three most promising incursions each follow one of these tactics. My teams have been running simulations and refining their targets, but I'd like you to assist them using a special quantum recursive algorithm. Our simulators can run the outcome of a possible incursion on the holodeck. Interacting with that simulation will give us more data than just crunching the numbers. We need to really interact with it to see what reality would look like, and for that, I need someone like you with field experience.
I'm not sure about changing time, but simulations can't hurt. And here we are, and we've got quite a few people around here. We'll cover these lot around here, but welcome to Alpha Team Leader Soften. Oh, what have you got to say?
Hello. Please allow me to explain what we're doing here. We've determined that if we remove a specific series of stars from the Beta Quadrant in the distant past, a rogue planet will enter the Iconia system and cause massive geological damage at about the same time the planet was bombarded by the Iconians' enemies. The technological buildup of the orbital bombardment that destroyed the Iconian civilization will still happen, but the Iconians themselves will have to deal with a natural disaster, not a war.
And you think this is better than a war?
Maybe the survivors of a natural disaster, if there are any, won't be so vengeful. And none of the stars we will remove have planets with the possibility of developing life. The overall effect on the galaxy is minimal. It's a painful path, but it could be the one that leads to peace.
I don't know if I like the idea of removing entire stars.
The number of stars we will have to remove is a concern, which is why we're trying this in a simulation first. But as Captain Nog said, these simulations aren't perfect, so we have devised a holodeck program that will expand and extrapolate on possible effects of the temporal incursion.
You're giving a lot of weight to the holodeck.
It's the best option we have available to us. The holodeck's algorithms have been updated to change and adapt to the data created by the simulated timeline alteration. This is not your average holo novel.
However, what do you need me to do?
Once we run the program, you'll be able to interact with our best approximation of the new timeline. Interaction with the holodeck components will allow the program to generate a more in-depth solution and give us a better idea of what to expect. We have set this simulation on a Federation starship patrolling the Sol system, and you are the captain. If all goes as planned, we expect that almost everything in the system should be close to current reality.
Understood. I'm on the program. Now, here we are going. Let's go up. Wait a minute. Franklin Drake? Oh, what are you doing here? Well, last time I heard that you were being chased around from a Klingon in on Kronos. And then that's another episode for another character. And you can go and see that in a second. So, Philip Crane, anything to add?
Hello.
And he's got he's got probably the same questions as mentioned he's had before. So if you,
Under ordinary circumstances, hello.
yeah, we're going to. This episode's going to be long, and we're already 15 minutes in. So, and this is not going to be, it's going to be quite long, so let's run program alpha. Okay. Well, oh dear, this is not good. Okay, we run.
Captain, you're alive! We repelled the intruders on the bridge, but the ship has taken heavy damage, and a lot of the crew are injured.
What was this, Richard?
The Dominion stopped firing at us when we lost weapons. Now they're focusing on Earth's defense grid, but it's only a matter of time before they return to finish us off.
Alright, we'll stabilize the crew and bye, this is over. Now, okay, let's stabilize crew members.
Sir, I tried to fight them off. The boarding parties, the Jem'Hadar. We have to stop the Dominion. They can't take Earth too.
Don't worry, we'll stop them. And no agreement.
We can't stop them. Maybe if we hadn't been at war with the Romulans. Maybe if the Klingons hadn't ripped themselves apart. I'll be fine, Captain. Just rattled.
Go to sick bay if you need to. And
I never expected they would get so far into our defenses. I'm sorry, Captain. I just need a moment. Then I'll be ready to fight.
whenever you're ready.
Incoming hail!
Okay. As you can see here, this is the Defiant Bridge. So, I have to. Oh, there's no seat over. I have to work it best I can.
USS Ajax. Sensors show your ship is completely defenseless, and I would prefer not to delay our arrival at Earth to deal with such a minor annoyance. Surrender now, and I will guarantee the safety of your crew.
We will never surrender. Okay, we'll need to quickly grab all the information I need before the ship gets blown up. So, okay, warning. The whole bridge is on decks 4, 5 and 6. Bridge 4 is engaged. And not much else is online. Wasn't casualty report. Ooh, Vector taken. Teller Prime taken. Vulcan uninhabitable. And Captain's personal log. Captain's personal log. Stardate 87319.0. We haven't seen the bulk of the enemy fleet in 3 days, but their scouts continue to harass us. Vulcan is lost and Daria is in flames. Romulus, Teleprime and Resident Twill ashes. If the Romulans had joined us, maybe this would have been different. The Klingons barely had enough ships to patrol their home system. They weren't a threat anymore. We were offering friendship, but the Romulans refused us. Then the Dominion came and took everything. Scan for Iconian activity. Long range is online. There's no Iconian activity in the immediate area. Let's download all the data. Okay, let's end this program. Okay. Pretty decent, okay. Not one of the best things we've seen, so Soften, got some bad news.
Sorry, we were watching from the control room, and that could have gone better. Even with all that, the simulation data on whether the Iconians were entirely eliminated from that timeline is inconclusive. We were able to record your interactions, and we've been able to piece together what happened from those.
So, what did you find?
From what we can piece together, the Klingon Empire was never unified by its conflicts against outsiders. and the great houses turned on one another instead. The Romulans took the chaos as an opportunity to attack. The Federation stepped in to help the Klingons, and the war between the three factions basically ripped the quadrant apart. The Dominion then conquered all three weakened powers.
This isn't a tower solution.
Agreed. My team will continue working on other possible incursion scenarios.
Perhaps we can weaken their power base. So we're moving on to another. Hello, Captain Durak, Commander Durak, I mean, Answer Commander Ver. So, oh, Naya, when didn't we see you last week? So, somewhat familiar face. Naya?
Another one of you Voyagers? I don't know how you can help, but very well. My team is working on scenarios that reduce the Iconian power base. We're attempting to do so by fixing a mistake that Janeway allowed to happen decades ago. We're going to stop the Vaadwaur from being rediscovered. We plan to do this by preventing Voyager from ever coming into contact with underspace. This will prevent them from finding Vaadwaur Prime, and 7 of 9 will never wake the Vaadwaur.
Man, you could ask him what you mean by Voyager. But we'll, for interest of time, I'll just ask him, and I suppose leaving the Vaadwaur in stasis will help the Krenim too.
None of us are going to survive if we don't try to repair the damage you've already done. The goal is to cause a solar flare that will force Voyager to divert from the course it was on when it stumbled into underspace. If it safely passes without entering underspace, it can continue on its trip home and bypass the Vaadwaur entirely.
I suppose that might work.
The simulation is set for the USS Voyager, which is fitting since they caused the problem in the first place. Our projections show that even if the Vaadwaur never return, your people will still find a reason to stick your noses into our business. So, we're attempting to see how the elimination of the Vaadwaur will change the formation of the Delta Alliance. You will be a member of the diplomatic team.
I'm on the program. Yeah. Okay, we're assistant. Which is Claudia.
Don't mind Noy. I think he partially blames people from your quadrant for some of the Krennin's troubles. After all, if Voyager hadn't restored the Vaadwaur, they would have never been in a position to ally with the Iconians. But there is no reason to dwell on past hurts. We're trying to fix what we can here, and then learn to accept the rest. Noy funnels that passion to help his people into his work. Perhaps it will change everything.
We need to work together to defeat the Iconians.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Both Captain Nog and Seven speak highly of you.
Excuse me, I'm not sure we've met anyone from your species before.
My name is Claudia, and I am a Tutarian. We're from a region of the Delta Quadrant Voyager never visited, so we haven't had much contact with species from the Alpha and Beta Quadrants until now. However, my world has had close ties with the Krenim for several years. Now that they are actively pursuing temporal technology, I chose to join them and lend whatever assistance I can. I miss my home, but I've made a new one here. Meeting Noy has opened me up to a world beyond my own.
I see.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Both Captain Nog and Seven speak highly of you.
Goodbye. Now, there is a lot. She will reveal a lot more information about Noy and herself, and that is not going to be. That's going to be revealed in another episode, so don't worry. And we might get some more information about them together, those two together, later on. But we have. Then I'm not a time traveler yet. Well, someone predicts the future, but I do know that all decks were to activate Now. Okay. We have Ambassador Jiho Sugihara. I see he's one of his famous speeches has not done the trick. Trust me, those famous speeches are very long. Ambassador?
This is an absolute disaster. I had thought that Admiral Tuvok was being pessimistic about the chance for success here. But now, I think he was right.
Lance isn't making Alliance making isn't a quick process.
No, it's not. The hierarchy started setting these people against one another before Admiral Tuvok and his team could start to pull them together. The very fact that they all agreed to be in the same room is a minor miracle.
Do you think you can bring them together?
Eventually. Between Vulcan logic, Klingon tenacity, and Romulan pragmatism, we'll convince everyone here that the threat is real, and an alliance is in their best interest. But it won't be easy. Now, if you'll excuse me, I see I have another argument to break up.
Good luck, Master. Now, this is very familiar to another episode we've recently done. So, let's have a chat with the Talaxian representative.
We've always tried to be good neighbors and treat other races with respect, but this is really too much. The Malon are using our system as a dump, and their trash isn't our problem.
The Malon aren't the biggest danger to your people.
The Malon might not be the biggest threat, but they are the most immediate. Wait until they start dumping their trash in your front yard, and see how you like it.
Keep talking to the Malon. Perhaps you can find a compromise. Malon?
Are you here to preach about responsible waste management too? You can save it. I have a commitment to my people and my planet that supersedes any other concerns.
Talaxians are concerned about waste on their borders.
How dare you dictate how we should behave? The disposal of hazardous waste is a noble sacrifice my people make on behalf of their families. Who are you to cheapen their sacrifice? What we do is none of your business.
There are other solutions, but I see you're not interested.
Are you here to preach about responsible waste management too? You can save it. I have a commitment to my people and my planet that supersedes any other concerns.
Maybe there's some place else that you can dump your waste without harming others.
We don't need outsiders telling us what to do. If the Talaxians want to talk, they can come to us directly.
Let me see if there's another way to get you interested to join this conversation. Yikes. Well, let's go some research. So,
the Malon have resisted attempts to accept less hazardous waste management practices and continue dumping waste throughout the quadrant. The most at-risk populations are the Talaxians, who have a new colony close to Malon dumping grounds. The Malon have moved into Talaxian space to avoid hierarchy attacks. Diplomatic relations between the Malon and Talaxians are rapidly deteriorating. The Malon have accused the Talaxians of working with the hierarchy, a charge the Talaxians strenuously deny.
Analysis?
The Benthans could possibly pressure the Malon to return to the negotiation table.
Okay. And I presume Mr. Benford over here and Mr. Hazari are not on friendly terms.
Yes, what is your question? I am rather busy. The Hazari are stepping up their smuggling operations, and the hierarchy's new drive for profits has created a significant increase in attacks on unaligned transports.
So it's over you. I'll talk to Hazari.
Good luck with that. The Hazari aren't interested in anything but making deals. This whole meeting is just a waste of time. Unity might work where you come from, but I don't have any reason to cooperate with criminals like the Hazari or thugs like the Hierarchy.
Maybe I could convince them differently. Now, Mr. Hazari?
What do you want? Did the Benthans make you one of their little deputies? Or was it the Malon? Before everyone broke ties with the Hierarchy, they told us what people say about us. Mercenaries. Honorless. Ha! They all deny it, but we know. Now we look out for ourselves.
Now, if that's what you think, I guess we're done.
Fine. Run back to the Benthans. I'll be here if you want to talk business.
Sorry, I'm not in the market for mercenaries. And... Ambassador Shigehara?
Unraveling this mess could take months. Years.
You're the right man for the job, Ambassador. There we finish off this report. Now, yeah, let's do the quadrant effect report.
The number of planets the Hierarchy have taken outright has increased 20% over the past 6 months. A push for higher profits has prompted steady growth of Hierarchy territory. Reports of abductions in areas near Hierarchy space have increased by 77.2%. However, this data has not been confirmed by outside sources because few Delta Quadrant species are willing to share information with the Federation. Further investigation is needed.
Shift log.
Ambassador's log, stardate 87234.5. Our allies in the Kyana system have been invaded by Hierarchy forces. The Kyana colony is a small farming community with no strategic value, so the attack simply doesn't make sense. According to one survivor we managed to find, the Hierarchy were working with the Ilachi. The Ilachi took captives to an unknown location.
Okay, let's scan for Iconain activity. Long-range sensors are detecting both held and Iconain readings. Also, don't be active in active conflict with the Alliance forces. You see more ships than normal. Both held and Iconain signals in the hierarchy space. Because of the hells are maybe using that area as a staging ground for coordinated attack of the hierarchy on high-value targets throughout the Delta Quadrant. Caution Voyager's logs show similar situations in Alpha and Beta Quadrants. Oh, this is not going to be good. Let's download it and get out of here. End program. Alright, so let's pop out the door and break the news to Noi and Claudia. Noi?
Damn, that was useless. The Iconians were so determined to have a hold here that they simply found another species to fit the bill. Maybe if you had been a better negotiator, you would have been able to unite those representatives against the hierarchy. Then, at least we would have had a chance.
And maybe we wouldn't.
This scenario isn't as catastrophic as trying to remove the Iconians, but it's not exactly ideal either. We'll have to try something else.
Yes, this isn't going to work.
You must excuse my husband's harsh demeanor. This has been a very trying time for the Krenim. Thank you for helping us get this far. We'll keep working.
Thank you, Claudia.
Trust my wife to be the voice of reason. Perhaps I was too hard on you. I just want to be able to fix all of this. We can't turn back time, but we can change it. Please speak to Gamma Team. Captain Nog thinks very highly of their plan.
Thank you, I'll speak to the Gamma Team. Now... Gamma Team needed Jelen.
Hello. We've been waiting for you. Our team is focusing on delaying tactics. What if Iconia had never been discovered? In 2365, Captain Donald Varley of the USS Yamato found a star chart on Denias 3 that revealed the location of Iconia. I want to redirect a meteor to impact the archaeological site on Denias 3 before Captain Varley begins his excavations. Iconia will remain a myth, and we will not attract the Iconians' attention as early as we did.
The Yamato. Oh yeah, that was quite a while ago, and I remember it was lost with all hands over Iconia. Yeah, that's just a delay. Another gateway was found a few years later.
True, but if you compare the changes in Iconian technology over the past 200,000 years with what the rest of us have done in the past 2 centuries, it's obvious that the Iconian culture has stagnated while we have advanced rapidly. Additionally, there are other factors in play that could trigger the alliances and sharing of technology that have come about because of the Iconian threat. It's a risk, but it's one that could pay off.
I see why you're trying this on the holodeck first.
The program is set for Romulan space. Because the Hobus supernova was caused by direct Iconian interference, we expect Romulus to be intact in this new reality. As such, the Romulan Star Empire should once again be a major power in the quadrant. Your role will be as an officer on a Romulan warbird.
Restore the Roman Star Empire?
Yes. To call it a huge change would be an understatement. Please be aware that nothing will be done unless the Republic agrees this is the best possible solution. There is already a team here working on the possible restoration of Romulus, and Commander Jirak has been authorized to speak for the Republic if needed. The fact that our data shows delaying the Iconian arrival will also save Romulus is an interesting coincidence, but it does not mean we will accept the solution without looking at other options.
I see.
The program is set for Romulan space.
Because one program. And Jack, good thing you're here. We'll chat with you later. So, running the holodeck. So, Commander Tamir is on that. Okay. Before we go up, we're on a scimitar bridge. And yeah, if you are familiar with the with Nemesis, you might even recognise this bridge as well. So, as you can see here, very nice look. And I can't really tell much we want to have. This guy seems somewhat familiar. But we'll have to see later. But we'll need to check ourselves in the Thorian reactor room. Come on, Tamir.
Sub-Commander. I'd like to test out some new security passcodes, if you would be so kind as to seal the doors and disable certain, equipment. We need to talk.
Understand. Commander. Okay, so we need to seal the doors. And we need to do some tweaking right about here. Oof. I hope whoever was listening isn't going to find a paper cup and stick it to the door. So, Commander?
Thank you for playing along, Sub-Commander. The Tal Shiar can't hear us now. I need to talk to you about Datan and the Separatists. They've been located near the Dewa system. What we do next could change our future.
The only thing now you can ask, you'll pick up. You can ask one of these, and these are similar things. The only thing know about the Separatists, I've heard through channels. What do you know?
Datan has been inspired by Spock's teaching. He and many others have left the homeworld and are gathered together in a flotilla somewhere near Tau Dewa. Datan and his allies have been making overtures of peace to both the Federation and the Klingons. Because of this, they have enough support that even the Tal Shiar won't take direct action against them. The Borg are at our borders. The Empire can't fight the Collective and the Separatists at the same time.
So what does that mean for us?
Thank you for playing along, Sub-Commander. The Tal Shiar can't hear us now. I need to talk to you about Datan and the Separatists. They've been located near the Dewa system. What we do next could change our future.
You're not asking if we should attack them, are you?
If I was, I wouldn't have needed you to lock the door. I intend to put Lieutenant Silan in the brig and then take this ship and crew to join the Separatists. Are you with me?
If we do this, we'll be traitors to the Empire.
I know. I have tried to work within the system, but the system is broken and corrupt. Datan and his people are building something better. You and I both know it. The crew knows it. We will take this warbird to Datan, and we will finally be free.
We have to do what is best for our people. So, let's just seal this door. Ooh, yes. That's like someone's in a gated transporter. Oh. Lieutenant Silan.
Secret conversations between the commander and one of his senior officers? Very suspicious. Loyal citizens of the Romulan Star Empire have no need for locked doors.
So I'm going to ask you to come with the security team to the brig.
Tamer, you are a fool, and you will be the death of everyone on this ship. Datan and his people are terrorists. If you join them, you will share their fate.
You are under arrest. Please comply and you will not be harmed.
A destiny free from the tyranny of the Tal Shiar. If we leave, we will have a better, brighter future than what they would allow us. I know it is a step into the unknown, but it is a step we will take together. Throw off your chains. We will join our brothers and sisters in freedom.
And let's have a chat with our friend at the com.
I wanted to let you know that I am with you and Commander Tamer. Some of my family has left Romulus to join Datan. I'll be proud to join them.
Set a course for the Dewa system. Let's drop on this empty console and see what we can get from the computer. Notice to all hands. Traitors are now made historical executions of traitors to the Star Empire has been moved to Richie 2100 hours, and attendance is mandatory for all officers not on duty at the time. I don't think I'll be looking at that. Quadrant status report. Notice to all ship commanders. Starfleet vessels have been assisting new Romulans in the area near the neutral zone. Imperial ships have been dispatched in a show of force. Any ships had no assisting separatists are to be fired on. There are no exceptions. Ships in Group Gamma have been reassigned to patrols in the area targeted by the Borg. Contacts are regular, but vengeance is needed to eradicate the threat and protect our world, our colony worlds. Commander's personal log. Commander's personal log. Triple correction protocol, Zeta 6. Galaxy's becoming suspicious. I've been speaking with members of the senior staff and most in favour of making a run to the flotilla and joining Titan. But I must remain cautious. They're doing the right things, but the Borgs are nipping at our heels. Every ship of the fleet that loses might be one we need to protect. One machine that is out of need. But what is there left to protect? I'm going to scan for Iconain activity. Long should no held Iconain signatures, and there are no references to the helds in the database. No references to the Iconains are historical files, and most of them refer to Iconains of myth. There are highlighted activity levels of bug activity throughout Beta Quadrant, and multiple colony wars have been simulated. The Romulan fleets are on high alert, but have not been able to make inroads against the collective. And we'll download all the data and end the program. And we're done, or not? Yeah, let's have a chat with Jelen.
That is the most promising simulation yet. It appears there was some merit to our hypothesis that the Iconians advanced their plans due to early contact.
But it's not perfect by any means.
The readings do indicate higher levels of Borg activity, but it should be an acceptable risk.
Do you think this could be our solution?
The data in this simulation does show higher Borg activity than we're currently seeing, but there are no signs of Herald, Iconian, or Solanae presence at all. And while the Romulan Star Empire is restored to their former power, there is a democratic Romulan group opposing the Tal Shiar. And more importantly, Romulus is intact. This is the result many of our Romulan researchers have been trying to bring about.
This is entire reality. This will be significantly altering everything we know.
The political calculus of the Quadrant will change, but the data supports what you saw on the holodeck. No Iconians. We have solid projections. The only suggestion I have now is that you consider it in conjunction with Captain Nog and the Republic representatives here.
I'll just go sit with them, but I'm not making any promises. So, you can go together then. Captain Nog?
This last test has the most promising results I've seen, and saving the Romulan homeworld is an added bonus. We're not going to have a lot of shots at this. I've been looking at Anorex's work, and I think it's too easy to get into a temporal loop where you try again and again for a specific result, and time starts fighting back. I'm inclined to say this is our best chance. But this will have a huge impact on the reality we know, especially your people, Commander Jirok. I won't give my authorization without hearing from everyone.
We can't move forward without considering the effects on the Republic, Commander Jirok.
This is difficult. It would change everything for us. We'd have our home back, but the Republic, everything we've built, it would all be gone. But there's still hope. Even in this other reality, Titan has led many Romulans away from Sela and her Tal Shiar thugs.
This impacts the Republic most of all.
The simulation specifically mentioned Titan and a separatist movement. Commander Tamer makes the choice to join Titan, the same choice he made after the homeworld was lost. With Romulus, we could have numbers. More people who have had enough of the Tal Shiar's oppression could join us. Maybe millions more. If Titan is able to get a movement going, even at the height of the Empire's power, I have to believe that change is possible.
What do you think we should do?
Make the incursion. The lives we save will be worth the work we'll have to do to reform the Republic. The Tal Shiar wasn't able to stop us the first time. They won't stop us again.
If the Roman Republic thinks it's worth the risk, then we should try it. So, we've informed that the Set and the Iconain vessel will be travelling us to Make the set a temporal incursion. Quinn vessel has the weapon on board. The set will provide extra security and manpower if needed. Understood. Anything else? All 3 vessels will be temporal shielded from changing time. As long as the shielding nodes will be able to observe changes and even interact with them, but will not be part of the new timeline. Captain Dog says that temporal shielding entities can be damaged. We need to be careful. We can be up to the PO as soon as you're ready. Prepare for immediate departure.
Target acquired and locked. Activating weapon. Incursion complete.
It will be good to see the world of my birth again. Elements? Is that Romulus? It's been completely assimilated.
Yes, I think we have a problem.
No. We expected to see some Borg activity, but this can't be right.
What happened?
I agree that this is unexpected, Commander, but we knew there would be anomalies. We need more information. Let's find out where the simulation might have gone wrong.
They're near the edge of the system. Do you reckon that I will move in for sensor sweeps? This is the last thing we needed. The bug is assimilated to the Iconain weapon.
The whole system can't be assimilated, can it? That is a lot of Borg.
Indeed. And I'm a bit worried about finding Borg with cloaking devices. So we're now close enough to scan data sensors.
Scanning in progress.
According to these scans, the planet has been completely assimilated. I'm not detecting any non-Borg life signs. This is bad. Really, really bad. We need to fix this.
Agreed.
Borg ships decloaking. Red alert.
Great. Borgs have got cloaks? Alright, shields up.
First the Klingons, now the Borg. Does everyone still get their knowledge from us? Borg reinforcements on a set course.
Left shields failing.
Okay, it's going to be tricky. Not really.
Hull integrity below 50%. Hull integrity below 75%.
We need more information before we can fix this. I'll keep the Krenim ship well out of Borg sensor range while you go in and find out what happened. Hurry. More Borg will be arriving soon.
Won't we be affected by the Talon shift once we leave the ship?
I've modified some personal shield generators to shield you temporally as well. I'm transporting them over now. Hurry. The temporal shielding drains a lot of power. You won't have much time down there before you're unprotected. If that happens, this will be your new reality.
Understood. We'll get the idea. Right, time to beam down. Glad says she's concerned about the weapon. We probably have only one more shot before the capacity's burn out. So we need to get this right and get back to a town that's not overrun by Borg. The sensors are detecting a mainframe that should have the data we need. The set will remain on to protect the Krenim ship, and while you and Commander Jack beam down to get more information. Yeah. Let's beam us down.
We need more data to plot a possible solution. With any luck, the Borg will have what we need. Maybe. Our focus is on restoration. There is a computer node in this area of the Unimatrix that should have what we need. Find the node and download all the data you can from the point where we made our incursion. That should help us find out how to fix this.
We'll find the data.
I'm going to join you. I know this place. Or at least I knew this place. Before we lost the homeworld, it was a Tal-Shiar complex. Most of the secrets of our empire were stored here. I thought I was getting my home back, but now the Borg have taken it all away. This is like losing Romulus all over again.
Now, if I remember rightly, you were daughter of a quite senior Romulan. You disrespected to the Enterprise D, if I remember rightly. I'll see what you can do to... what I can do to help, Commander.
The controls ahead of us will unlock the bulkheads.
Indeed. Now, before we get too far ahead, I need to check all of our crew to make sure they're carrying these frequency modulators. Because, believe it or not, frequency modulators are something our guys need. I'll also give them a few other pieces of items. So, you guys looking a lot better, ready now? And
The whole planet, all our people, they're Borg.
Commander Drax got quite a few things in her arsenal, so she's helping us about by pulling off some of her recent abilities. And we've just cleared up the node, so let's move on to
I can't believe we were so wrong.
Yeah, same here. No, wait.
Cover me! I'll override the door controls.
Eh. She knows about one doors better than we do, so... more than walking up. And of course, you gotta be kidding me.
Got it.
Good, because I need to be able to make my...
We have to
rifle.
find a way to make this right.
Indeed. Well, there's gonna be a long walk. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of time.
Resistance is futile.
Oh, that isn't what I think it is. Okay.
There. That's the access node console we need.
Right, let's access node.
Locked. We'll have to circumvent their security measures. Wait! Incoming Borg!
Okay, we need to disable all these consoles. So let's move on because they notice us. At least our guys are keeping an eye on stuff, and tomorrow gets back before we get too far.
When we lost the homeworld, I thought that was the worst thing that could happen to us.
A bug? I don't. It doesn't seem worse.
You will be assimilated.
Indeed. This is gonna be.
This was Romulan technology once, but it's been completely assimilated.
Indeed.
Akiv?
You will become one with the Borg. Resistance is futile.
I mean, it was always wanted from bug something bug tech, but that's Archive dead. There's two versions of Archive we've killed. So let's download the stage before we find the tunnels of him. Okay, open temporal records. Oh, breakdown records by provide a summary of new ROM system only. Display oldest entries first. Filtering temporal records. Saturday 68598. ROM system was added to collective. Then they added to the Unimatrix above the ROM list. Designated as Unimatrix 652. And oh dear. Pretty much
It looks like the main invasion of Romulan space occurred about 20 years ago. Something happened in the Delta Quadrant. The Borg assimilated something that greatly improved their technology. They adapted, evolved, and my people, they didn't have a chance. Maybe it's our fate to lose Romulus.
All we can do is try and restore the previous time. Maybe this will help. Bugs is on approach. You need to get out of there, sir. Let's beam us up. We need to get out of here.
Let's get out of here. There are more than 20 Borg ships on an intercept course.
Understood.
More Borg on the way.
Right, 20 ships. That's gonna be fun.
Borg decloaking.
Transmit the data. Hurry! We're under attack. Quick shield.
Doug?
We're losing power. Send the data now before we lose temporal shielding.
Sending data now.
Focus on your repairs. We will make sure the data is preserved.
Press them now.
Pressed and ready.
Relate suspicious communication waves.
Communication array is ready.
Open secure set transfer.
Secure channel confirmed.
Send the data.
Data received.
The Borg may never be able to reach one.
It is a great risk. The Borg have a great deal of influence on the timeline, and there is no time to run the simulation.
We have a choice.
We do not. Targeting the transwarp network.
Firing the weapon now.
Borg are gone. But so is Romulus.
Romulus isn't the only thing we lost. Temporal shielding is failing.
What happened?
The Borg did too much damage to the generators. If we lose the temporal shielding, we'll all reintegrate with the timeline.
Has anything else changed?
Checking? No. The Tutarians. They're gone!
How?
I see the problem. 20 years ago, your people tried to replicate the work of the Solanae to protect themselves from the Borg. They failed.
Temporal shield is at 8%.
No, I need to restabilize the shields.
I'm downloading my personal files into the shielded core. You'll have all my research notes and everything we've recorded from this mission.
You're giving up? When the shield fails, if the Tutarians were lost in the past, then you'll be lost too.
Temporal shield is losing integrity.
Is there anything we can do?
No, we all knew the risks.
There's been development. Captain Nug, Commander Joak, and the Iconain researchers are waiting for you in the conference room to go over their findings. I'll meet them there. So, welcome to another episode of Statistical Lab. No. I know I'm joking there, but yeah. Officially, Scarlet does not know what just happened. And welcome to this place. We've got Commander Joak, Eliana, Great Ray, and Franklin Drake, researchers, and Nug, Commander Kale, Nine. He's got a different beard. He used to just have a bit of a... I don't know what he had before, but there's a bit of a thing on his chin, but now it's a full-grown piece. It's not as epic as some of the others I've seen. And some quick research. So let's have a chat with Nug.
We found a temporally shielded computer core, and it shows 2 uses of the Krenim weapon. But as far as I know, the Iconians are still out there. We changed the timeline, but we didn't fix our most important problem.
How different is the world now?
We won't be sure until we finish analyzing the data, but the Krenim weapon was used twice. I remember being on the bridge of the Krenim ship and seeing a readout with a far lower power reserve than had just been there a moment before. I'm sure you had a similar situation.
I did.
As to the greater differences, we'll know more soon. I only hope the ripples from what we did today don't start a tsunami.
Agreed.
We found a temporally shielded computer core, and it shows 2 uses of the Krenim weapon. But as far as I know, the Iconians are still out there. We changed the timeline, but we didn't fix our most important problem.
So what was in the car?
We haven't dug that far into the data yet, and it will take some in-depth investigation to catalog all of the changes. Noi is going to lead the group taking care of that. I will say it is odd to find personal logs I don't remember making.
I can imagine that would be strange.
Very. But from what we've already seen, it appears the reason the weapon was fired twice was because we had to try to correct a change we made. Technology like this seems so simple, but even the smallest change can make more trouble than it solves. We have to be more cautious. Far more cautious than we've already been, I suppose. The next mistake might not be fixable. Time alteration might not be the answer. There are some problems that can't be solved with a weapon. But time travel... Look, whatever happens, it was good working with you. I hope we have the chance to do so in the future.
Good working with you too, Captain. And now we can chat with some more people. So, Adriana?
I was conducting another simulation, and all of a sudden I got an emergency call telling me to stop everything. I will be looking at whatever data we managed to save to try and determine what went wrong. Maybe we can try again after we know more.
Hope we be able to find something. We can't afford another incident like that.
It has been good to have you here, but we will have to consider if time alteration is really the best course of action. Of all the records we have of time travel, few have as drastic a result as this. Perhaps removing elements from the time stream isn't the solution we need.
Hey, goodbye. Druck?
We've put so much hope into using the Krenim technology to solve our problems. Perhaps I was caught up in the possibilities and blind to the potential for disaster. We tried and we failed. But this isn't the end. We'll keep looking at the simulations, as well as any other option open to us. I have to have faith that we will find a way to defeat the Iconians.
We'll discover what happened and move on from there. That's all we can do. And finally we're going to move on to 9. And that's a nice speed you're making there, 9.
I have a lot of information to analyze. The shielded core appears to have made it through the process intact, and will give us a wealth of data on the timeline and how the changes have affected it. Clearly, you made a mistake somewhere. I still feel this is the best technology available to us, but we will need minds sufficient to the task to operate it.
Goodbye. I'm concerned about the use of potential to solve the Iconain situation, but it's one of the only options that we have they don't. I hope the Alliance decides, whatever the Alliance decides to do soon, we don't end up with a worse situation than we're already in. Ready to take transport back to the pier now? Yeah, let's go.
Captain Nog tells me that the initial test of the Krenim weapon was less than promising. He says that he and his team have a great deal of data still to analyze. But I do not believe they will find much that will assist us. Removing elements from the time stream is reckless, and while our options are limited, we should not destroy ourselves in a fruitless effort to destroy the Iconians. It is time to consider all of our alternatives.
Indeed. Again, we'll be picking up some appearance points, expertise, and the focused assault training manuals, and different more. Now we have three. We have another 3-piece set. So we have the Temporal Disentanglement Suite. Now this is a provides slightly additional power, and actually not a bad thing for a new player for wanting something on the science, but this does not, however, does well with science on high-end gear, because you're basically on high-end science builds, because you basically aren't doing much. This does can work on any other type of build when you're not using science at all, or very little of it. And the temporal phase overcharge warp core and the boosts the ox power like the science equipment, and boosts the EPS flow regulator, the plasma flow. That is, and warp core efficiency, and it adds a bit more ox power depending on, based on our shield power as bonus power. Not pretty decent, and okay. And then we've got to go with the temporal phase overcharge singularity core, which does almost the exact same thing, with slightly different, of course. And then we got the anti-chronoton, the infused beam wave with the 360 or omnidirectional beam, and this basically is a 360 beam which allows you to attack anything around like a turret would. It has slightly less damage than the normal Tetrium beam of this rank, but very nice if you are flying a Tetrion build and want to have a quote set piece to carry in the back. Other set pieces, and I might do a comparison between each set. But and then there's the Tetrion turret, which is if you're running a cannon and turret build, you might want to pick up this especially if you're running turrets. Because if it's running Tetrion. Now I'm going to be picking up the disentanglement suite, not just because I just don't. It's the most. Because I'm not going to be picking up any of these really, but anyway, I might do another. We got this. This one brings up another point to make a set piece talk on this one, but I'll have to wait for another time. Talk about another time will be. It's going to be the finale of the
war continues, and all of our warriors are needed to fight.
Yeah, the finale of the Iconain War, which is midnight. I'll see you then. We might chat later. See you guys later.